Registration pop-ups. You're probably wondering what a registration pop-up is. The registration pop-up is a window that will pop up when the student goes to register and allows a college to give a brief message to the student. The message can be anything you want them to get. It's a student that's registering or modifying their registration data. So it could be that the payment deadline is by this date. Anything that you need to know, you need that student to know that's going to be pertinent for them to continue with the registration process. To get security access to be able to enter the registration pop-up message, you would have to go to the Banner Cognos Student Admissions Security Form on the front page of Lola, and then you would go to you would select the stu_registration_pop-up security class. So it depends on your college who you want to have access to this function. You may have at least one, maybe two people that have access, but I wouldn't give access to more than that. You should probably have the lead person who's responsible for it and then a backup. There are 3 pop-ups. You have one for pre-registration, one for registration, and one for late registration. This allows you to set up all 3 messages at the same time for different terms, and whatever dates you set when you're setting up your pop-up, that'll determine what box will be popped up for that particular student. And I'll give you a demonstration of how that works. The first thing I'm going to show you is how to set up the registration pop-up message. So to set up the message, you're going to log into Lola. You're going to look for your college in the self-service block. So you're going to go to the self-service block, and you're going to select your college that you want to set up your message for. And then the registration pop-up link will appear here. If the registration pop-up link does not appear here, that means you haven't requested security access for it. If you've requested access and the security personnel have told you that you have access and you don't, you're going to want to open a help desk ticket and submit it to the security team so they can research and see what's going on. You're going to click on the registration pop-up link. And when you click on the link, this box will appear for you. Now I'm going to go ahead and delete this. This is one I was playing with earlier. When you first access the form, it's going to be empty like this. And on the right side of the screen, you can see the Create Pop-Up. So you would click on Create Pop-Up, and this page will open. Now here's where you decide what kind of message it's going to be. Normal is your registration, late is for your late registration, and early is for your early registration. So you can set up all 3 messages at the same time. You don't have to wait until a certain date to go in and change the message or add the message. In addition, you can also set up multiple terms at the same time. So you don't have to wait for a term to even begin to put your message in there. You don't have to wait till a certain day to put it on your calendar. You can set them all up when you're doing your registration prep for the term coming up. So I would select a term, I select a message. Active means that the message is active. You can set a message up and then at a certain point go in and inactivate it if you want to. But the start date and end dates are also going to be when this is going to state when the message will be viewable for the student and when it will not be. So you kind of have 2 things to use to turn it on and off. I'm going to leave it as active, and then I can put my start date, and you put it at whatever you want it to be. And then you put in your message. So you would just type whatever message you want to give. The message can hold up to 4,000 characters. You may not want to do a message that long, especially if you're trying to get the students to read this, like maybe something about the late payment or the payments have to be submitted by this date or their registration will be deleted and then have to start the process all over again. So I'd say try to keep it brief. You can't put fancy text in here. It's just plain text, so don't try to get too fancy with it, and try to keep it brief. So I'm just going to put testing pop-up for this one. That's all we're doing, and I'm going to save. So in the lower right-hand corner, you're going to save. Now, if I want to go in and do another one, I can just create a pop-up, and then we go ahead and do the late. I'm going to do spring, and then go ahead and set those dates. And I know I'm using the same dates, but it's because I'm just demoing for you all. But you would know that you wouldn't set this date until actually late registration starts. And that's when you would set that start date, the day you want that message to start being viewed on SSB when a student is trying to register or modify their registration. And then once you enter your message, you can save. You can copy and paste from Word, so if you want to type your message out in Word and then paste it into the box, you can do that. Once your message is set up, you also have the ability to delete. Let's just say I want to delete this one. Because after a while, if the term is over and you no longer need it, I would delete it and move it off of my page so my page doesn't become cluttered. Let's say your message is up and running, but you decide you need to edit it. You can just select edit, and then you can just edit it any way that you need to. And then once you do your edit, you would just do save, and it brings you back to this window. So very simple on how to enter your information, how to turn it on, turn them off. I also told you that you could make it inactive, so you can also edit and make it inactive. Not sure why you would do that since the dates are running it for you, but it is an option out there. And you can say save. So this was the demo on how to set up your message. Now next I want to show you what a student's going to see when they go to register. So a student, same thing, they're going to log into Lola. As you all know, to register they log into Lola. When they get on Lola, they would select your college in the self-service link box. They would select student, and then they would select registration. And the pop-up is attached to both of these links. So whether the student goes to add, drop, or withdraw classes, or lookup classes, the message is tied to both of these. So if you're doing, if it's after registration, after the 14-day count, a message I may put is, if you withdrawn from your last class, please note that you may owe money back to financial aid. Don't know if you would do something like that, but just some thoughts about how you could use these windows. So it's connected to both of these, add, drop, or withdraw, lookup classes. So I'm going to select on the add, drop, or withdraw classes. I'm going to select return and then hit submit. The financial responsibility agreement will appear. I select agree.